Hi everyone, how are you all doing? I hope you're happy and safe at home. Today I'm going to talk about how I reviewed my lockdown period of 1.5 months. What I have been doing in these 1.5 months to cope with the lockdown. I look back at the 22nd of March and I still remember so many of my family and friends, the way they reacted, the way, what they felt, what they thought. Some were really anxious about the uncertainty. The others thought it was like pretty cool, everything is gonna uh, be fine. And the others were waiting for the 2 week lockdown to get over for the party to start back. Everyone had their own perspective. Today, I'm going to talk about my perspective and my learnings from the COVID 19 lockdown period. So, before I begin with my learnings, I would like to talk to you regarding perspective. What is perspective? Our brain is a very complex organ, and the brain also is trainable. But there is a unique characteristic about our brain. It likes to do things in a routine manner. It is very comfortable to do the same thing again and again. It's like a habit for them, for the brain. Now, when there is some outside change, our brain gives signal which makes us uncomfortable. Why? Because the routine is broken. It creates a kind of an imbalance, and therefore we feel uncomfortable. And how we look at this discomfort is actually our perspective. Now, if we look at the change or the discomfort involved in the change as a very big problem, then there is a lot of resistance and we are unable to adapt very fast to the change. But if we actually look at the same discomfort during the change as a slight inconvenience which we can manage, that brings in resilience and that also brings in quick adaptation. That makes growth. Now let's review our 1.5 month of lockdown and see how we have perceived this lockdown change for ourselves. We had a choice. We still have a choice. The first one, to perceive the change, to perceive the lockdown as a very big problem. And secondly, to perceive it as an inconvenience which we can manage. And thus, we can gain something out of the lockdown yet. You tell me which is a better approach and which makes you feel good from inside. I chose the second approach, and I am going to talk to you regarding that today. So, I have divided my learnings into 4 parts. The first part being the skill development, the second part being the minimalistic approach, the third part being dependency, and the fourth part perspective towards happiness. So, I have a young kid, a 6-year-old. I am working, I live in a joint family, and so 24 hours always seemed less for me. But this COVID period actually gave me an opportunity to explore things which I have always wanted to. So I started with a lot of things, but one thing really stuck with me, and that was gardening. Oh, it was really therapeutic for me. Previously, Enjoyment was something like going out for a drive, or going to a restaurant, or going out for a movie in the theater, or maybe holidaying. Whenever we wanted a break, whenever we wanted a vacation, we always used to look out for these things. But now, during this lockdown period, we actually got an opportunity to explore things at home which could be pleasurable, which are new for us. And in fact, I have realized that it has reduced our dependency on the outside world. There's another skill which I have developed, which is really a fantastic one, which I would say, at least for my child and for her learning. I read a lot about homeschooling my child, so I upgraded my skills. Otherwise, I was always majorly reading my stuff, related to my subject. Another thing is that me, my husband, and my daughter are bonding over baking breads, and this has introduced a new hobby in my child. So we realized that she has amazing sense of taste and smell, and in fact she's being creative enough to create recipes in her mind. For a 6-year-old to do that is an amazing job. As a parent, we are now spending a lot more time with her and playing. That gives us a lot of moments which are teachable. We can teach new skills to her while playing. While writing my COVID learnings, I also realized that we were previously in some kind of a race. A race on the road, in the traffic, in the profession, for fame, for money. And then suddenly, everything stops. Everything comes to a halt, and life becomes important. I have adopted a minimalistic approach, and I guess so all you have. Ultimately, we are all living with the basics. We are surviving with our families, we are surviving with ourselves. Now, what has become the most important is our family and our basic necessities. Suddenly, everything in the outside world has shut down for you. This made me actually realize that why we can't be our own best friends. Though I don't say that we don't need the outside world or the social world, but if we are comfortable with our own selves, that is one of the most important learning for happiness. That is self-love and acceptance. That is the biggest takeaway from the COVID lockdown by me. I would definitely like to know your learnings, so kindly put them down in the comment section and I would love to read them. So look out for this space for some inspiring stories and eminent personalities and their learnings from the lockdown. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click the bell button for further updates. Thank you.